Hey guys, it's Bailey from Making Up the Midwest, and I think we all know it's time for August favorites. So I have a ton of product to cover in this video, so let's just get right into it. So I'm going to start off with tools before I get into the color cosmetics, and the first thing I want to talk about is the IT Cosmetics brush set. There's a name to it. I'll put it either here annotated or in the info bar below, along with a link to the review that I did on this, but essentially, you guys know how much I love IT Cosmetics brushes. I have a few that I keep going back to and mention here on my channel, and they are just truly everyday favorites. They're a luxury, they feel like luxury brushes without always necessarily being luxury prices. They are, IT Cosmetics tends to be a higher end brand, but if you buy them off of QVC in bundles and stuff, they are very inexpensive. So this brush set, first of all, you get a case as well. This reminds me of the one that I think Sigma is the one that has these travel sets, but I don't have one, so I'm not sure. But it's one of those where you take the top off and then you separate it into two. Great to keep your brushes in shape when you travel, but also fantastic for storage. I keep my brushes in these on my desk for everyday use because they're just so accessible. So you have the top here, that's 1 cup, and then this secondary one is divided into 2 as well. And in this kit you get 6 brushes, and on one end you have either an angled liner or a brow brush and a spoolie. So technically 6, I guess. Do we consider a spoolie a brush? It's a tool. I've done a full review of these, like I said, so I don't want to get too in-depth here since this is more of a gloss over of the month, but essentially you get 2 nice face brushes and then a few of their eye brushes. Each of these brushes is so consistent with what I've experienced previously from the single brushes that I have come to know and love and use on a regular basis. So I was so ecstatic that these really lived up to the IT Cosmetics hype and standard of their previous brushes. Additionally, this is a QVC exclusive, so you get the carrying case and all of these brushes for $49.95, so basically $50, but that amounts to less than $10 a brush. And for the quality of these brushes, I really do think it's worth it. To me, these are the brushes that obviously someone who likes to take their brushes to go could use, but also someone who doesn't have a brush collection yet per se, or they want to get a complete collection that has everything you need for everyday use. That is what this is to me, which is why it has made it in my favorites. So let's move on to color cosmetics now. Moving on to the eyes, let's talk eyeshadow primers. This is Milani's eyeshadow primer, and it lives up to every bit of hype that is out there for it. It's just, I picked this up probably at the beginning of the month, so I've had a good solid chance to look and see how it really wears in my eyeshadows, amplifies the color, makes them last, and it just does such a beautiful job at that. It's Drugstore, obviously, so it has a great price, but the reason this made it into my favorites this month is because it's the first primer from the Drugstore I found that really does serve as a base to even out the eyelids. Obviously color tattoos are fantastic, but they have yet to make one that is flesh tone, kind of like a MAC Painterly paint pot, or like Urban Decay's primer potion. It just smooths out the lids, even outs the complexion if you have smaller capillaries and veins that show through like I do, and you want your shadow to really lay on something that is kind of a smooth, even, brand new canvas. That's what this creates, and for me, that was a first from the Drugstore. That really did do its job as a primer and makes your eyeshadow last all day. The next primer I have is from a brand that's new to me. It's from BA Star, which caters more towards dance teams, cheer teams, really people that need their makeup to be bulletproof or waterproof or sweatproof as the case may be, but they need their makeup to last all day. So this, unlike the Milani, is actually a sheer base. So you can see it looks white in the tube, but when you apply it, it's very sheer. What it ultimately amounts to is that it's a sticky base, so it's great to make pigments adhere to your eyes, but also I have found it throughout the month to work with eyeshadows that I would have otherwise cast aside because they were just so poorly performing that not even this could save them. I put them over a sticky base and I was able to salvage them, and it was awesome. So this is great not only for pigments, but like I said, eyeshadows as well, and I experienced great wear time with this. For eyeshadows, I have not been able to get over the Revlon Photo Ready primer and shadow palettes. I've talked loads about these, so I really don't want to talk about them at length, but in particular Bohemian and Metropolitan, which I don't think I've talked about on YouTube yet. I did a review and swatches on my blog, but this is a little bit warmer, or not even warm, it's just different. It looks similar to, but is very different from Graffiti, which is the other neutral palette that I featured. This is more browns with champagne-y pinks and even a gorgeous shimmery but a cool taupe. I can't explain it, just go check the blog, but it's a really gorgeous palette, and overall these have beautiful shadows that are smooth and pigmented and last all day like any shadow should. Basically these are the shadows that I've been loving, along with a palette from Hard Candy, which I also did a 60-second review of probably around the beginning of the month. This is in Green with Envy, which is just such a fun palette full of greens, 10 shadows I believe, for $6, so you really can't beat that. And I noticed all of these shadows are just very smooth and creamy, pigmented. I mean, this palette blew me away for the price and the amount of shadows you get. However, one thing I want to mention is that in the comment section of this video, everyone was saying that they picked up the other palettes from this line and were so disappointed. So I don't know if I lucked out or if they truly are just kind of disappointments, but this is the only one I can vouch for, especially since others have been saying that the others they've tried from the line were just not cutting it. So, but otherwise, this stellar. Highly recommend Green with Envy. Last on the eyes is mascara, and I have been in love with the Jordana Best Lash Extreme Volumizing Mascara. I just put up a 60-second review of this where I highly recommended it for good reason. This, despite saying it volumizes, I found it volumized, it lengthened, it curled, it stayed all day, no smudge, no flake, no anything like that. And it's $2.99, so you can't beat that in my opinion. The brush is super unassuming, just a standard wand, no special bristles or shape or anything like that. It just blew my mind with how simple and cheap it was, so definitely a good favorite. And check out that review if you've been curious about this mascara or are looking for a great affordable drugstore mascara, because this is what I'd recommend at the moment. Now onto lips. It's like I've been on a lip kick this whole month because I have quite a few lip products. I did purchase quite a few at the beginning, so I've been going through a few, trying them, seeing if I like them, and a few came out in the end that just blew me away. The first of which is another Jordana product, and it is the Twist and Shine. This is in the shade Sweet Pink, and it's really very much like all of the other chubby balm stain pencils from Clinique and Revlon and CoverGirl, but I think this is the cheapest I've found. These are $2.99 or $3.99 I want to say, from Walgreens, again where Jordana is sold. And the other thing that I've noticed with these is that they're a little bit more opaque. They have kind of a creamy balmy finish, whereas something that like the Revlon Just Bitten Kissable Balm stains to me are a little more sheer. They are a truer stain on the lips with a balmy finish, whereas this to me kind of comes off as a more opaque finish, which I tend to like. Additionally, it really does stain your lips. These last so long throughout the day. I didn't find that I had to reapply more than say twice, and that was for meals, which I generally accept when it comes to lip products, that my food is going to make my lips wear off considerably. So I was really impressed with this, and for the price, again, it can't be beat. Next up, I showed in a haul at the beginning of the month, and it was the Hard Candy All Glossed Up Hydrating Lip Stain. Again, another chubby glossy balm thing. This is Orangey Sweet, and it shows pinker than anything on my skin and when worn. Despite that, I loved how it wore. It's super balmy, almost borderline glossy, very hydrating, which I find could sometimes be a problem with these chubby balm stains. The one downside was that the pigment that is on your lips didn't actually reflect itself in the packaging, which is unfortunate if you think you're, like I did, buying some hot, fun color for the summer and it turns out to be pink, when in reality it's very similar to the other one that I bought. Either way though, I really enjoy this product, and it makes me want to try some of the other colors from the line because I've been so impressed with the quality of the wear. This, again, unlike the Jordana, is a little more sheer. It does deposit quite a bit of pigment, but it's more of a sheer, balmy pigment, but it does stain, which is awesome. So I find that when I refresh or touch up throughout the day, it's less to restore the pigment and more to restore the balmy finish. So that's a great quality to have. And then the last lip product I have is from Revlon, and it is Revlon's Super Lustrous Lip Gloss in Super Natural. And the reason I picked up a few of these, but then I ended up going back for this one because it's the one in the line that is cream finish. All the rest are very sparkly, shimmery, most of them sheer. This to me seemed like the true cream finish. I'm actually wearing it on my lips right now. It's obviously super natural looking. And I also got it to see if I could dupe a shade from Jouer, which is a higher end brand, and this is in the shade Mirage. Now, you can see just right from here that they're not an exact dupe, and even this one up close is a little bit of a gold shimmer, but for all practical purposes, they are almost exactly the same. The Jouer one wears a little bit longer, but considering the price difference, I'm kind of okay with that. because with a gloss, I tend to accept the fact that I'm going to have to reapply it far more frequently than I will any other product, which is the case with both of these. So for the price, I have just been really loving this and the natural finish it gives to my lips. When I find myself in the middle of the day and I don't have my whatever lip product I put on at the beginning of the day, this is what I reach for to just get a little bit of a finish on, kind of polish up the look and move on with my life, because it's such a no-brainer. It's so natural looking, and it is that kind of milkier or creamy finish, so it doesn't have you know, sparkles if that's not your thing. Really like that. So I think I've covered all my bases this month. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about mine. I would love to hear about yours, either in the comment section below or in a video response. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!